Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me. And if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to call my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Riscala. It's a gorgeous Sunday out here in South Florida.
I'm wiping the cobwebs out of my eyes.
I'll tell you, I didn't get a good night's sleep either, but we got to get this Sunday going and see where it goes to.
Amen. Every morning I take the dog out for a walk. So I walked out this morning, and I noticed this morning that we're back to the how do I describe it? Almost like a sauna. You walk out and it's just the humidity is so high, it just hits you. The last couple of mornings when him and I have been walking hasn't been quite so bad. And I thought, oh my gosh, finally it's that change that we've been looking for, that a little bit of crispness in the air in the morning. But that was quickly gone this morning. We're back to the hots.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and hopefully for a little bit of rain this afternoon, too. But I think I haven't had time to check the seas out, but I know there was a couple tournaments yesterday, and I'll have to check to see how the guys do.
Yeah, we have all kinds of activity happening all around the state. It looks like scattered thunderstorms all over, from all the way down from the Keys all the way up into Gainesville, above Gainesville. So if you're going to plan on going out today, just be aware that we do have some activity happening here and there. And with regard to the marine forecast. Let's see if I can find the marine forecast here. It looks like the winds are going to be around 10 knots. The seas are going to be around the seas are going to be around 2 feet. Depending upon where you're at, intercoastal waters will be a light chop. And the tide settings for today is 3:31. We've already had a high tide this morning. Next one is going to be low tide. Will be at 9:39. So we're coming up on a low tide here shortly. Next high tide will be 4:17 this afternoon, and last low tide for the day will be 10:29 p.m. tonight. The the beaches are reporting a light chop. There's a light to moderate risk of rip currents. If you don't know what a rip current is, all that water that comes in, all those waves that come in, they got to go back out somewhere. If you get caught up in that component of that gets taken back out again, the last thing you want to do is panic. The next thing you want to do is don't swim against it. Try not to swim right back to the shore, because you're fighting something that is far more powerful than you are. What you want to do is swim parallel to the shore. You'll eventually get out of it, and then you can swim back in. It is something that's not we don't have it real prevalent here on most of our beaches, because we don't have really big waves. It's areas where you have the larger waves. It'll literally sweep you out. Within seconds, you'll be hundreds of yards offshore if you're not careful. So just keep that in mind when you're out there. Other than that, it looks like it's going to be a great day for some fishing here and there, as long as you keep your eyes on the skies, if you will. Let's see, what else have we got going on today? We had a fishing tournament. Was it last week, the fishing tournament? The Chasing Tails tournament?
Yeah, I don't remember if we even talked about that. That was last weekend, a great turnout by summer. My ladies' team went out. We did pretty well. Didn't get any checks or money, but we did make it to the scales with a decent tuna and real good dolphin. It was a great day out.
And they had a good turnout, too, from what I understand.
Yeah, in Martin County, I was a little bit about an hour and a half north. For me, there were no masks that were required. People were wearing them, but it was not required up there. And I'd say about a turnout of about 150 plus.
Sweet. And, of course, I'm always happy to hear about things like that, because of the proceeds from the tournament go to help people in need. This is one of the things I so respect about the fishing community here in South Florida. They are constantly finding ways to help each other. And if you think about our country, that's really how our country was formed. When we were a little bitty guy, a girl, when there wasn't a whole lot of us here, it was helping each other. That's how we made it through life. We helped each other out. And it's something that is a passion of mine. I truly believe that that's one of the reasons that we're here. Nobody has the whole story. But if we work together, we can get a whole heck of a lot done. And I'm ever so grateful for that. I'm ever so grateful to be a minute part of that, whatever part that may be. It is an honor. So I know that you did some fishing. What did you catch while you were out there?
Well, I was lucky enough to be put on a nice dolphin.
Ooh.
We had Carol, who's on my team. She hooked up to a nice sailfish, which didn't count for the tournament. We ultimately got 2 sailfish, one beautiful mutton snapper that was a first-place fish for part of the day. Was caught by a younger angler. She's new on the team. But you know what's great is everybody caught something. Even if it didn't make it to the scale, everybody caught something.
That's cool. Well, I had asked Dean Panos to come on. Dean is with D&D Charters. He said unfortunately he's going to be offshore fishing and he'll be out of reach. But he did want to pass on to me and have me pass on to all the listeners that he says the SailFish Action is hot. They caught 7 sails. The last several trips that they went out, they caught at least 7 per trip. That's pretty wicked. The SailFish Action is hot, you guys. So if you can get out there and just, again, keep an eye on the sky. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I've seen a lot of people posting up the videos on their sailfish. They've been decent sizes. We even have the folks that let me fish their boat. They actually moved their boat down to St. Thomas and last week, and they've been catching 6 out of 8 blue marlin for the day. So the fish, those big pelagic fish, are starting to run through.
Wow, what a change! So if you can get out there, know that the mahi action seems to be still out there. Believe it or not, still happening. But the sailfish, they seem like they have. They've come in and they're everywhere. My gosh, I can't imagine. He said at least 7 on several trips. So, oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. I was, only a couple of times did we actually go sail fishing. When we fished, it was really for food because not only do I like the fishing, but I like the icing on the cake, if you will. You get to cook them and you get to eat them. And so I really didn't fish for a lot of fish that we couldn't eat. So it's only been a couple of times that we went out sail fishing. Didn't do very good. And I was all the more happier for it because I'm somebody that if I catch it, I want to eat it. I don't want to throw it back, So, yeah, I haven't really had a lot of experience with sail fishing. Did a couple of things. There was a time when we used to go to the Keys all the time. I'm trying to think of this captain's name, and for the life of me, I can see his face, and I can't think of his name, or the name of his vessel. But we would go out of Bud and Mary's, and we would do Hero or Zero. I don't know if you ever played that, but for example, this one time we went out of Bud and Mary's. The whole purpose of going out was to shark fish, and it was a specific. We wanted a mako. I didn't. The guy who paid for the whole thing wanted a mako shark. So they took us to one place, it was called a 409 Rips or something like that, where we caught some big amberjack, and the amberjack were to be used as bait for the sharks. So if you went out and you caught what you were after, then you were a hero. But if you went out and you didn't catch anything, then you were a 0. And it was a focus on that. So in other words, while we were out there fishing, if we didn't catch a shark, we didn't start fishing or looking for dolphin or come in and go across the reef. It was you didn't catch it, that's it, we're done. Pull the lines up and go back. So we did that a couple of times. And the one time we went for mako, we had a mako. We fought him for about 3 or 4 hours. I fought him for 10 minutes. It wore me out. It was like trying to pull on a car. It was unbelievable. And so we all took turns fighting, but eventually he got away from us. Pretty big fish. All right, Robert, I hear Robert in there. Good morning, Robert. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
Good night. How are you, Robert?
I'm excellent. Everybody having a good day?
It's starting out nice.
Yes, no rain.
Yeah, well, yeah, so far. So far, no rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to start later, about 2 o'clock, but no rain right now.
Yeah, according to the Wonder Map, there's activity all over the state. But right now, in our particular area, yeah, we're pretty clean for right now. And it seems to be coming from the west to the east, from what I can tell here. You do any fishing this last week, my friend?
Just some snook fishing at night. That's about it. And magazine is finished and out there, so that's good.
Great. And how many stories you got on this one?
I think there's 7 or 8 different stories, and the fishing reports and the reader's features part, and it's 106 pages altogether, I think.
Oh my goodness! Wow, it's growing.
Getting there. We signed up with a company called Issue. We'll be marketing our magazine online. So.
Oh, great. Well, I just lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you something. This is the joys of getting older. You walk into a room, you forget what you walk in for. You have a train of thought, and it vanishes in the span of a second. It's gone. I'll think of it here in a minute.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. It's all right.
I'll think of it here in a minute. Carolyn, you got something you want to ask?
I have to tell you, it's a Sunday morning cobweb morning for me too. I was so busy yesterday just doing projects. But Robert, you got any tournaments or anything that you know that are coming up? Because I know the SailFish season's starting to come up now, and I see some of the tournaments for December.
I'm sure that the Stewart SailFish tournament will go on. It has always gone on. They don't seem to care what's going on. They've done it in the middle of monsoons before. A couple of years ago, it was raining so hard for 3 days, it was just miserable. They ran the tournament all 3 days. The seas were like 5 to 8 feet. It was pouring every day, all day, and they ran the tournament. So I have no doubt that the Stewart SailFish tournament will run.
That's committed there right now. I'm telling you.
Oh, it was cold. It was horrible. It was cold. It was rainy. It was horrible. And they ran it anyway.
That's either committed or needs to be committed. One of the two.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the Wonder Map, and it does look like its action is running from the west to the east. Right now in our area, it's relatively clean, but it's all over the state. It's everywhere, from the Keys all the way up, all up into Georgia. So just, you're going to go out there, just keep an eye on the sky. If you go out there, take a look around, make sure you're all right. There have been times when I've had to do that. We were bent on going fishing. The conditions were okay, but we knew that, like you mentioned, here in South Florida, we get into the afternoon cycle where, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the heat from the sun all day long has been beaten on us and begins to rise. And as it rises, the clouds coming in from the ocean, of course, they're loaded with humidity and water. And we get into that cycle where 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it just comes like a downpour. So there have been times that we've been fishing in the bay, and you got to keep your eye open because that stuff will come up on you quick.
Yes, you do. I wanted to tell Carolyn, I didn't get an article from you this month. However, if you go through the magazine, every time you see an Atlas Trax logo, if you click on it, it takes you to the website. So.
Oh, cool.
Well, you know what I should do, Robert? I should submit a little story on our what we've been recoined, the new pink ladies, and some of the gear that we have coming out that's being made by one of my customers. That's totally some of the proceeds are going to charity, and that's a really cool story. I'll make sure I get that for you because I think they're going to premiere that this week.
So you have your own clothing line?
Yeah, believe it or not, the nice folks up at Real Captivating, and you've met those folks.
Yeah.
They put together team shirts that turned into merchandise for them to sell and some proceeds for charity. So
excellent.
I'm pretty excited about that. And it comes along with some really good fish pictures from the Chase and Tails tournament that we did last week.
Great.
Even better.
So am I right? Is there another storm out there that we're looking at? Because I'm looking at this map, and it looks like there's yet another storm, and it may end up in Louisiana.
There is, but it's going to it's going to dissolve next week. It's going to run into that cold front that's coming down and the dry air that's coming down, and
they have this
fizzle out
thing
about middle of next week, they figure. So
they have this thing going through Louisiana. Those poor people in Louisiana. I mean, I thought we had it bad.
Yeah, it was headed in the same direction, so.
Goodness gracious. I thought we had about a couple of years back, I remember 2007 or so.
2004, we were target practice.
We had one right after.
I had 2 of them come directly through Stewart in 2004.
It was amazing. I've lived in South Florida the majority of my life. I have experienced, I can't tell you how many hurricanes. I have never seen anything like that where within 2 weeks of each other, we have hurricanes coming in, and the eye was like within a mile or 2 miles of both tracks. It was like, oh my gosh, you ain't kidding. It was target practice, all right.
Yeah, Francis and Jean. Yes, we were target practice that year. So
these people in Louisiana, I don't know, how many have they had this year now? 4? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
My
3 or 4.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough. That's tough. For those of you who have never been in a hurricane, thank your lucky stars, because it's no fun. It's just no fun. There's no way to enjoy any part of it. As a kid, maybe it's fun, because as a kid we had a lot of fun. We'd go down to the Coconut Grove. I lived in Coral Gables at the time. We'd go down to Coconut Grove and look at all the boats that, oh my gosh, so many boats would be up on the shore. Sometimes they would be blocks from the water. And so you can imagine how much water was there. But as a grown-up, no, no fun. A lot of work, a lot of stress, unneeded, Oh, my goodness. Well, Robert?
They were saying that there were 16 storms so far this year, and each storm cost $1 billion in damage. So, I mean, add up the math, and, thankfully the lives lost were a lot less, but still the significance of having so many storms.
Yeah. And I can't even begin to understand how they got 3 or 4 of them almost in the same. Got to be within 50 miles of each other. And just,
right along that Texas-Louisiana border.
Yep. Oh, my gosh. Prayers go out to them. That's for sure.
For sure.
So, Robert, I know that you were planning on going down on the Keys. Did you ever get down there?
No, I'm actually not going down till the first week of November.
Oh, okay.
We worked out some charters and some stuff, so we're going down the first week of November. So.
Well, think of me when you go down there, because I haven't been. I miss that place. I used to love going there. When I lived in Cutler Ridge, which wasn't too far from there, that was our Sunday adventure spot. We'd leave early in the morning, Sunday morning, early in the morning around. Sunday morning, early in the morning around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Get down there, be about 6. Try to hit the water and be on the water, and by the time sunrise came up, and some beautiful, beautiful sunrises. And down there, the water is it's amazing. It's just amazing. It's a whole different way of life. It's the whole atmosphere and everything is just completely different.
I loved living there, that's for sure. So.
You did live there?
It was awesome. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Twice in my life I lived down there. I lived down there when I was a kid with my father and my mother. We lived there for a couple of years in Big Pine. And then moved back later in life down to Key West.
Oh, my goodness.
Up here in 94.
Key West is a completely different country. That's a whole different way of life down there.
I like that country. They don't care about much.
Yeah, it's easy going. It's it reminded me of one of the most difficult things I had to overcome in my life as a young adult was I was in the Air Force at the time, and they moved me from one place to another. And I went basically from one big city to another. I went from Miami, which I was living in, to San Antonio, Texas, another big city, to Denver, Colorado, another big city, to another couple of big cities. And then I ended up in Panama City, Florida. And when they told me I was going to Panama City, Florida, I said, oh, yes, and this is, party town, Panama City, Florida. Well, I didn't realize that the city, Panama City, there is a city called Panama City, as well as when people think of Panama City, they think of what's called the Miracle Strip, which is out there where all the partying goes on. Well, that shuts down about 2 weeks into September. That shuts down. And for somebody who grew up in a big city, I could go anywhere, anytime, didn't matter. There was something happening somewhere in Miami. There wasn't anywhere that you couldn't go, that you couldn't find something. I didn't realize that this city shut down. When I tell you shut down, I'm not kidding. They shut down at 9 o'clock. I don't know if it is now, but that's how it was back then. They shut down at 9 o'clock at night. The only thing that was open was a gas station and a Waffle House on Highway 98. Everything else was closed. It took me forever to get used to that. Oh, my gosh, I thought I was going to go crazy. After about 6 months, I finally got acclimated. I'd love to go back and do that again. It's a different way of life. It's a slower way of life. It's a friendlier way of life. Because it's a small town like that, it's difficult to go anywhere without seeing somebody that you don't know. It's just a completely different way. It's something that it took me a little while to get used to because I came from a big city. But I'll tell you what, I'd take that over the big city any day. It's just a completely different way of life, and I'm sure it's similar to what we're talking about down there in Key West.
Absolutely. Small towns are the way to go. If you can.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't get much time down in the Keys, and I know the few times I went down, you have you pack up a fishing rod, you just pull over on the side of the road, you pull out a chair, and
used to.
You're good to go. And I'll tell you, I'd love to spend a lot more time down there.
We used to do that. Again, I grew up in Coral Gables, so my dad would pack us up. We had a station wagon. Those of you, now I'm really showing my age, we had a station wagon, and we'd pack everything up, get the rods in the wagon.
With a rear seat that faced backwards?
Yeah, that was, we had one.
There you go.
That was a riot. That was, we'd pull over. You get down the Keys, anywhere past Key Largo, find a nice bridge, pull over. Sometimes it wasn't even a bridge. We could just fish right from the shore. There was a couple places. It was amazing. It really was. It was amazing. All right, Robert. Well, that's what happens when we're having a good time. We're out of it. And before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity. How do people find the Florida Fisherman magazine?
Well, they can go to www.flfishmag.com. And if you want to send us something, send it to pages@flfishmag.com.
Yes, he will put your stories in there.
You'll be able to find it on issue. So.
He will put your stories in there if they meet his parameters. You can get your stories, your pictures and stuff put in there, and we'll make a star out of you. Robert, thank you.
No doubt. I mean, my cover article in April that Robert did helped me get launched into so many other things that, are helping other women down the road and, even just business-wise. So, Robert, that's great. I mean, people submit your stuff, and I'll make sure I get you something this week, too.
You guys have a great week.
Thank you. God bless you, my friend. Thanks for taking time with us this morning.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning, good morning. We will have archives set up in case you miss any part of the show. And the way to find the archives is if you go to our Facebook page. While you're there, give us a like. That makes us relevant in the searches. Go to our Facebook page and you'll find a link there that links us over to YouTube and all the archives. That's where I keep all the archives, over at YouTube. Don't get a lot of people watching the archives. Get a lot of people listening to the show live, but not a lot of people going back to the archives. But they're there in case you want them, in case you missed something. I always try to keep up to date with them. We're up to date as far as I know right now. A big thank you to WCET FM. That's our home network. And a big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. There's a couple of different ways that you can listen to us. Marina Rock Radio is a tune-in station, so if you have the TuneIn app, you can find us under the TuneIn app at Marina Rock Radio. Sunday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. That's one of the ways you can listen to us. Another way you can listen to us is if you go to our home network, WCET FM, or WCET Radio. Either one of the two will get you to www.wcetfm.com, and there you'll find a player. You can listen to the show that way. The easiest way to be able to do any of that is to download our app. Our app is absolutely free. Now, I know a lot of times people download apps and they go, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. These people bother me. I get these push notifications. I get these ads. I get all this. We don't have any of that in there. The whole purpose of our application is just to let you listen to our network at any given time. So the app is free, of course. You can find it at the Google Play Store. Right now, it's only available for Androids. But you can find it at the Google Play Store. Download the app. That's the easiest way to listen to us. If you are a Facebook fanatic, if you're on Facebook and you are on our page, click on Contact Us. That's another way that you can listen to us. So we do try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to listen in. And I appreciate all of you. We've had, I can't even tell, it's in the thousands at this point, people downloading the app. So I know that there's a lot of people out there who have it, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're all listening at the same time, but there are a lot of people out there who have had it. We have done an upgrade, by the way. While I'm thinking about it, we upgraded the app about a week and a half ago. There was an issue with some of the Androids where the app would kind of cut out. What would happen is the phone would go to sleep and the app would cut out. We worked that out. We got that bug out. So if you've got one of those where it's cutting out after a couple of minutes, uninstall it, install the new version. All of that has been taken care of. So let me welcome back my co-host. My co-host is Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, this is the young lady you got to talk to over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thank you very much, Riscala. Happy Sunday to all our listeners.
Appreciate that. And I believe we have Betty on. Betty is with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. Good morning, Miss Betty, and welcome to the Fishing in Florida Show.
Good morning. I've been working this morning on our next silent auction, so I've been a busy girl.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Good morning. I was talking to you about with a couple of my girlfriends this weekend as well. So I hope to hear all that you got going on.
Great. Yeah, right now we're in the final throes of our Keys fishing event with a full-day seminar, October 23rd to the 25th. There are 2 networking parties, fishing Sunday on charter boats, inshore or offshore, and also bonus fishing on Friday. So it's the full package in Islamorada, which is the best place to go fishing.
You aren't kidding. That's one of my favorite places, Islamorada, right there by Alligator Light, I think is what they call it. That was one of my most favorite places, and Angelia, and I think you've talked to Angelia a couple of times. She's like my contact down there. She's out of that area, and she likes to torture me by sending me pictures of the water around the lighthouse. It's just gorgeous. It's just something you have to see. Words don't really give it a proper description. So it sounds like it's going to be a total package, everything, huh?
Yeah, it's quite popular because we have the learning with the classes on inshore and offshore fishing basics, and we have the hands-on for knot tying, lure tying, casting, net casting, all gaffing. You know how we actually gaff grapefruits because they aren't that easy to gaff. You don't want to touch a fish with the gaff and do it wrong because you could lose the fish.
I never thought of that. How clever. I never thought about practicing on a grapefruit. Wow.
Yeah, put one in your pool sometime.
That's amazing. Again, a simple thing. It's one of the things I love about doing this show is I'm always learning something. I never thought of that. That's what a clever idea.
Well, what
That's
happens
a really good idea because I can't even gaff a hat that falls in the water.
Yeah. Well, we practiced on watermelons, oranges, and grapefruits work pretty well. And what it does is teach them the forward, pull back, jabbing motion versus swiping at the fish. Because anybody who's fished before and gaffed a fish, if you don't catch them on the first gaff, they go ballistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a problem. So you just need to get that motion.
Yes, I totally agree, and I have been I have been witness to that. I think I've even done that in a panic one day. I've taken a swing at them, and all it does is tick them off.
Yeah, when I caught my 60-pound mahi, and the fish was gaffed, the line broke at the moment of gaff.
Wow!
Because of, the sheer weight of I was on a spinning reel with 30-pound test with a 60-pound fish, and this was at a ladies' Let's Go fishing event. So had that not been done properly, wouldn't have had that beautiful picture.
Wow!
And a lot of dinners.
So you mentioned this is October the 23rd through the 25th, and we're having it down in Islamorada.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I have Tom Tafoya from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. He's going to be coming to show fly casting, and he has a special technique for net casting where you don't have to put the lead in your mouth. Women don't like to do that so much.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'd like to keep my teeth. So, we have another, great field of instructors. We've got Jeannie Town, Captain Lee Lavery. So we have some lady instructors, and for the hands-on portion, we have women and men as instructors because we don't discriminate. It's whoever knows the best and can share their information in a simple, understandable way.
I'm glad that you do what you do because I really believe that's a vital part of this community and this industry, if you want to call it that. That the ladies play a vital part of that. I know in my life's experience, I was very fortunate. My mom loved fishing. She loved the water. You couldn't keep her from the water. So it really helped when my dad decided we were going to go fishing. We went fishing almost, I'd say, 3 or 4 times a month. All over the place, not necessarily in a boat. Just pack up the kids and put them in the car and take off. And a lot of times it was down in the Keys. Like I mentioned earlier, we just pull over, pull over from the shore because there was so many places you could fish. But I believe that because my mom enjoyed that so much, it was something that we could easily go do at any given time, and nobody would feel bad. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't know about fishing. I'll stay home. You guys go. You let the boys go, kind of thing. It's great that you're doing. I really do. I appreciate it that you're doing what you do, because I think that plays a vital part in the overall scheme of helping the families stay together as a family. I've said many times, the family unit's under attack. It has been for decades, and now more than ever I see it very, very clearly. So anything that we can do to help, again, my experience in life was this was kind of the glue, so to speak, that kept the family together, because we all did it at the same time. We all experienced the same thing, but we all had different perspectives. As a kid, I was running around all over the place trying to find a magic spot. My parents would sit in one area and just fish that one area. But then after it was all done, we'd all get together and we'd all do our part. My brother would scale them. I'd help clean them. My mom would put the spices and stuff on. My dad would cook them. So it was everybody had something to do, and I really believe that was part of, till this day, that my best friend on this planet is my brother. My parents have left a while back, so it's just me and my brother. But I think that played a vital part. And when I hear about, things like this, where we do Ladies Let's Go Fishing, we teach them, I say we, Betty teaches them literally from how to tie the knot to how to cook the fish. There's nothing left out from in between it all. And again, today, the way things are, and sometimes you have a single mom, and she wants to do something. She's got a son or a daughter. She wants to do something with them. And everything is so technical now. We have technology all over the place. This is a way to get away from all that for a little while, because we really do need to get away from it for a little while. It's not good for you to be bombarded constantly with all this technology all the time and not enjoy my gosh, how many times have I said we're in a place that's like a sponge? If you don't like the water, you're in the wrong place. You're just in the wrong place.
Well, fishing is a great bonding experience. It's creating memories. And the other thing we're doing is we're helping the industry. An article just came out in Angling International with Frank Peterson, the director of the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation, one of our partners, by the way. And their goal is not only to develop new anglers, but retain them. And I'm so excited that we can help with that, too. We have a lot of virtual meetings, and I've had ladies that have been on our mailing list since 1997,
wow.
Maybe came to a couple events then, show up at our virtual meetings where they get to talk to each other. We have guest captains. We talk about fishing, and then the ladies can talk to each other. And they have now renewed their interest, and they're back out there fishing again.
Cool.
And, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's cool. I love it. This is the kind of stuff I like to hear.
Yeah, well, that keeps us in touch with people that, may not be traveling right now and may be fishing in their own areas. Because we're very interested in keeping people fishing once they enter the sport. Because that's the big problem right now is people enter the sport and they go latent. So you've got to spark that interest again, and that excitement again, and put it back on the radar. And people get tied up with technology and things like that and forget about doing something that's good for them.
Really, you just get away from it all for a while, For me, because I'm in technology, I can tell you firsthand, it's everywhere. It's wherever you go, even when you get in your car. So it's good to get, literally good for your spirit, for your physical body, for your health. It's good to get away from it for a little while, because in a way, it de-stresses you. What I've learned in my life's experience is there's one root cause to all disease, and that root cause is stress. Everybody's body has a different way of dealing with it, but it is stress. So when you go out and you do something like going fishing, for me and a lot of the people that I speak with, it is a de-stressor, if there is such a word. It relaxes you. You get to forget about all the stuff that's going on for a little while. And that actually is good for you. It's actually good for you physically, spiritually, mentally. It is something that it's kind of like recharging in a way, but in a different way. It's not like sleeping and getting rest. It's recharging in a I can't really put words in it, but for me, it's like recharging in a different way. You're getting away from all of everything that's going on. You're when you're out there, like on a boat, and you're on the ocean. In those days that you're on the ocean, and the ocean's like a puddle, it is amazing. You look out, and all you can see all around you is water, and it takes your mind off of, and you begin to think about other things that are not happening particularly right now. But you think about, for me, I'm just describing my experiences. You think about other things, and a lot of times it's pleasant memories that I would think about when I was out there, or just how beautiful everything is. You look down in the water's deep blue. You know you're in deep water when the water's a dark blue. So many things to enjoy. And again, it's a de-stressor, if there is such a word. And that's one of the best things you can do for yourself, is to de-stress.
One thing I need to add, though, is sometimes the technology follows you. Like we just announced our new partner with Shearwater Boats, and Lowrance has come back in, and Bob's Jack Plate. Well, now we're getting a Lowrance 12-inch, a TI 12. Wow. So we've got to learn how to use that. But the electronics are getting to be more user-friendly. And some of them have touch screens. They've come a long way, where you don't necessarily have to read a big manual to figure out how they work.
Mm-hmm.
But we tell the ladies they need to learn electronics, because if there's two of you on the boat and something happens to one of them, you need to be able to find your way back home.
Amen.
Plus, find where the fish are.
If there's two of you on the boat, and I would hope and pray that if you don't have a tracker, that you talk to somebody over there at Atlas Trax. I won't say any names. I won't mention anybody like Carolyn.
Yeah, it's very important.
Absolutely.
Sorry if I announced a different company, but I was on a boat one time, and the driver just passed out from the heat.
Wow.
And I had to get us back. So thank goodness. I'm not an electronics expert, but I do know how to I do know how to find where we're going and how change the screens to find the fish and things like that. But that got me back. I just turned it around, followed our cookie tracks back, or our Atlas tracks, loose tracks.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I could even tell you, I was on a boat one time, and we started our boat started taking on water, and with our GPS, everyone sort of panicked, and we had a course where we were going to West End, and we had our location, and when we were radioing the Coast Guard, everyone got nervous, so they were giving the location on the screen of where we were going, not where we were. So yeah, everybody should get a little briefing on how to use the electronics, just in case of something like that, Betty. It's so important.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And especially an emergency like that. Okay, so maybe there's two of you, maybe there's three. All right, the two that are more mechanical, they're going to be trying to figure out why you're taking on water, and then trying to pump it out, and then that leaves somebody to navigate or communicate when you're in trouble. And ICOM makes a nice radio. They have a button where you could just push that automatically sends your GPS coordinates out, like a panic button. People don't think about that stuff, but you should in advance, because you're really grateful to have them when you're in trouble, because things do happen out there.
Yeah, you're dealing with Mother Nature. You never know what's going to go on. I've had some hair-raising stories myself. I've had one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. We were in the bay. We were in Key Biscayne Bay, which is some places only a couple of feet deep. So you're not very far from shore, and we had a storm roll up, and we were skiing when we were kids at the time. We were skiing out there, and we had a storm roll up on us. We weren't paying attention to what was going on, and out of nowhere, the storm just let loose. We couldn't see 3 feet around the boat. We didn't know which way was what, and that was one of the scariest things I'd ever experienced as a youngster, because 1 minute you can see the shore, and the next minute it's raining so hard you can barely see a couple of feet out from the boat, and you don't know which way you're headed. You don't know whether, because we didn't have a compass. We were just in the bay, so you can imagine being out on the ocean. Even though knowing that we were literally maybe a mile at the most from shore, it was still scary because couldn't see where we were going. Can you imagine that happening out in the ocean?
Well, we've been sucked in before, where you have multiple storms and then they merge, or they merge in a wall between you and where you're going.
Yeah. To
yeah,
me,
that's bad.
Yeah, I've had that happen between me and the shore, and then what are you going to do? You got to be ready for that kind of stuff all the time. Betty, thank you. Again, I appreciate what you do. It's ladiesletsgofishing.com, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, and that's where people can still sign up for the Keys event. We also have November 21 through 22nd surf fishing at the Guy Harvey Ocean Resort in St. Augustine, but that one's full. So now I'm working on next year on top of all this.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking time, Sharon, and giving us an update. I greatly appreciate it. Let me let Carolyn say goodbye to you, and we'll take a very quick break. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Absolutely, Eddie. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got a grapefruit and a pool, so I'm going to try some gapping in the pool today. I've never thought about it. Have a great Sunday.
Jab forward, pull back instead of a sideward swipe.
Totally going to let you know how it goes.
Not as easy as it looks.
I can tell you 100% it's not, but I'll let you know. I'll get some funny video for you.
Yeah, your neighbors will think you're crazy.
Oh, they do. Thanks.
All right.
Happy Sunday.
So long.
Okay, you guys, catch them up.
Listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the water, I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. You can call me a grouper. 'Cause I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. Good morning if you're just joining us. We will have archives set up on our Facebook page. The fastest way you can find that is go on Facebook, find Fishing in Florida show. You'll see a link to our archives there. And you can click on that, and that'll take you right there. This morning, I have Carolyn with me. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? My friend over there at Atlas Trax. Good morning and welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thank you so much for having me, Riscala.
And I believe we have Mike. Let's see. I think it's Mike gets on. Let's check. Mike Simko with kitefishing.com. Welcome to Fishing in Florida.
Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Riscala. How you guys?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, oh, yeah, you're coming in fine. It's Carolyn. Carolyn kind of fades in and out.
I've got some strange stuff going on in my house no matter where I am. But good morning, Mike, and thanks for checking in on the girls last week when we fished chasing tails.
Oh,
yeah. Listen, sounds like you guys had fun. It was a big day, huh?
Oh, yeah. All the girls caught, made it to the scales. We're in first place for a little bit of time, and it was great.
Well, it's funny. As I was texting you, Carolyn, I was actually fishing with a buddy of mine, and I mentioned, hey, I'm texting Carolyn Stash with Atlas Trax. He said, you're kidding me. Tell her I said hi. His name is Brad Owens.
Yeah.
Brad Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
he's a client. Small world. I'm glad you're on a boat with one of my Atlas Trax trackers.
Oh yeah, he loves it. So anyway, it's been an interesting week. We're in transition time right now, so it's pretty exciting times out there on the water.
I had one of the guests that comes on from time to time tell me that the SailFish Action is hot. Those are his words. Is that what you're experiencing out there?
it's getting better every week. Although it's been incredible. I mean, it's been a great summer. The SailFish, I'm going to say the resident SailFish, they just haven't moved that much. They actually, they were really putting on a show all summer, which is not typical, but fun nonetheless. So, anyways, this is the time we get all the SailFish gear out. We're starting to think more about SailFish. I actually had a meeting with one of my favorite kite manufacturers, Pearl Kites. He came down and we went through the whole inventory of my kites, and he took a bunch of them back. Not just Pearls, but even other manufacturers that I was having, some issues with centerpieces or even fabric. He took them all back to his shop. He's starting to get everything tuned up and repaired. And also replacing older parts with more modern technology. So now all the centerpieces on my kind of kite inventory is becoming like lighter and stronger. So it's really cool times, and I'm looking forward to the SailFish bike.
It is amazing how you can exponentially increase your odds by using a kite. I was so ignorant about kites until I met Mike, who took his time and was generous with his time and explained so many different things. A kite can be very simple, or you can get really sophisticated. But the bottom line is, if you're using a kite, you can literally exponentially increase your odds. Each kite handles what, Mike? Three or four?
Well, it depends on the wind and the size of your bait. But generally, we figure each kite will hold comfortably 3 good baits, 3 decent-sized gogs or runners. So, it's also very common to turn 2 kites in opposing directions, so you can get some spread between the 2 of those. So if you can imagine on the downwind side of the boat, you've now got 6 baits, where otherwise you wouldn't have any. If you're a drift fisherman, really you can only drift on one side of the boat, given any current or wind. So you now have that drift side, which will be 3 dimensions: bottom, middle, surface baits. You could have 5 or 6 baits on the drift side, and then on the kite side, another 6. So think about that for a minute. A lot of bait.
It's amazing. Were you involved in any of the, I think it was Chasing Tails was last week. Were you involved in, were you fishing in that tournament?
No, but I was fishing. That was a beautiful day on the water. We decided to go sword fishing that day. So,
oh, wow.
Not in the KGW, but that's when I was talking to Carolyn to see how they were doing. They they were fishing with my good friends on Captivating. So,
how did you do on the sword fishing end?
We hooked the sword, pulled the hook after about an hour, which isn't fair. It's not really uncommon, but it was pretty fun. When we sword fish, we make it a little more difficult. We like to hand crank them. So,
oh my goodness.
It's a stand-up fight. And you never know. I mean, when you're trying to set the hook on a fish at 1,700 feet, you can imagine you're not really sure exactly where you're hooked or how you're hooked. And I would say a good 40% get unhooked after a while. So that was our day.
You're manually reeling up 1,700 feet?
Yeah, but it's just we consider it a long fight. It's just it's no different than hooking a marlin. Hooking a marlin, stand up fighting a marlin, they'll pull off that much line, and you just got to get it all back.
Go ahead, Carolyn. I think you're trying.
No, I was just thinking about we were out there with Kip 20 miles offshore, and all I can imagine is you guys being out there. It was flat, calm, and I remember you told me you fought that one for a long time.
Oh yeah, that was our trip before this one. We had I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago. We fought one for 19 hours before I decided to pull the hook. That was fun. That was fun.
Wow. Well, Mike, what do you got coming up here in the next week or so?
So a couple things that I'll keep you guys posted as time goes on. So I'm going to be doing a kite seminar for the guys at Fishing My Best Life, which is a local tackle shop in Lake Park. And so when we get that date firmed up, I'll let you and the viewers know. We're also, I'm also getting ready for another tournament, which is coming up in a couple weeks, which is the West Palm Fishing Club's SailFish Pop-Up Tournament. So they're coming. I mean, this is the time. Then there's the Dust Them Off tournament in November, early November. We have the Christmas Classic, which is put on by the Saberac boys. That's early December. And then, of course, the SailFish Derby will be in January. So a lot of SailFish events, you know, again, I can't emphasize enough to the folks that love to fly kites is to break out your gear right now, make sure everything's clean, make sure there's no, you know, no breakdowns that could occur due to corrosion, and start getting out there and practicing.
You mentioned the fabric. What's the life expectancy of the fabric? Because we are dealing in a heavily corrosive environment.
Well, I'll tell you what Pearl Kites told me this week. We actually had a meeting with a couple guys, some reps from West Marine, and he was telling them, just like I always tell everybody, when you use a kite during the day, you might think it wasn't wet or salty, but it needs cleaned. Regardless, they should always be spotlessly clean before you fly them if you want to get ultimate performance. Well, that translates into life. So to give you a life expectancy on the fabric, I've got some kites that are 40 years old. They look as good as the day they were, as good as the day that they were produced. So, yeah, the fabric will last if you take care of it.
I had no idea. 40 years old, jeez, my goodness.
But think about it. You know, everything degrades with salt. So even fabric. Yeah. You know, there's a little abrasive as the salt dries. It becomes more abrasive. It rubs against a spar, and next thing you know, you've got a burn mark in the fabric. So that's why we're so crazy about keeping them clean before you fly them and then after.
Wow. Go ahead, Carolyn.
In the past, I've got to get out there with Mike because I'm pretty good at flying them right into tangle in the outriggers. So that's on a center console. So I need to definitely get out with you guys and launch them the right way and just get out there and do it with some electric equipment versus some hand cranks and get the knack of it. Mike, man, I'm going to hold you to that one.
Hey, this is the same as, you know, my analogy for that is like, you know, if you go in a deer stand and you take your first shot at the first deer and that's all you got for practice, it's not going to work. So same thing with flying kites. If we just went out there, Carolyn, for a morning and all we did was try to launch them, bring them back, launch them, bring them back, change the boat angle, you'll have, you know, that's like 10 trips of experience, and you don't worry about catching fish until you get the kite launching down pat. So I agree with you. It's great.
Cool. Well, Carolyn, what I'll do is I'll just come up with a nickname for you. We'll call you Carolyn, the Kamikaze Kite Flyer.
Well, here's where that whole thing gets interesting because now I'm trying to untangle it at the end of an outrigger with nobody knowing that I just tangled it up around an outrigger. So that's the funny part until someone turns around and says, "What the heck did you just do?"
Oh my goodness,
that's all right.
Oh, she's always good to have Carolyn come along because if anything, it'll at least be at the very minimum. It will be an interesting trip.
Well, you know what?
I add my ladies fishing team. I think Kip will tell you that he probably laughed a lot. I mean, my girls are pretty funny.
That's great.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Mike, we're about out of time. Before we go, I want to give you an opportunity here. If people want, and just, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, Mike is one of the most generous people with the information that he has. He truly enjoys educating people about the kite fishing and what is around kite fishing and all the advantages of kite fishing. And there's a couple of different places you can find him. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you, Mike?
Well, thanks for that. And it's true. I mean, I think that sharing is the best way to get this thing to grow. So you can reach me at kitefishing.com. Real easy to remember. My contact information is on there. And you can also reach me on Facebook at Kite Fishing Experts, Mike Simko.
Mike, greatly appreciated. You know, you're one of them that comes on from time to time and again, generous with his time and very generous with the knowledge and wanting to share that with other people. It makes it so much easier when you are doing something that you're not familiar with. It's somebody who has been doing it. My gosh, how long have you been doing it, Mike?
Well, I mean, at last count, I mean, I flew my first kite I'll never forget. It was in the Pompano Fishing Rodeo in 1985.
Lord have mercy.
So, you know, that's a number of years, but I fell in love with it then and really haven't lost interest because there's so many more things that you can learn every time that you fly a kite.
and clearly an experienced individual. So you can learn from his experience. You can cut the learning curve way down when you're dealing with somebody who's been at it, oh my gosh, for as long as he's been at it. I'm sure he's seen just about everything that can happen and experienced almost every possibility that can be out there. So you can cut that learning experience down real quick by speaking with somebody like Mike, who's got all that years and decades of experience. Thank you, Mike. Greatly appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, Scala. Thanks, Carolyn. Talk to you guys soon.
Tight lines. Thanks, Mike.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. We are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. If you're just joining us, we will have archives set up on the Facebook page. Go to Facebook, find Fishing in Florida, and you'll find that link right there. Several ways you can listen to us. The easiest of all of those ways, download our app absolutely free. No adware, no spyware, no push notifications. Just an easy way to listen to our network. If you have the TuneIn app, we want to say a big thank you to Marina Rock Radio because they have they are TuneIn radio station, and they are one of our affiliates. They play our show Sunday mornings, and that's one of the ways that you can listen to us. If you have the TuneIn app, go to Marina Rock Radio. You can find us there. If you don't have the TuneIn app and you're one of those who is a Facebook fanatic, you can go to our Facebook page, click on Contact Us. That'll get you on the live server. Or you can go to our home network, which is www.wcetfm.com. We have a player there as well. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, got to talk to my friend Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Riscala.
And I think we have our next guest, Joe Farinelli. I hope I said that right. And he's with the Fish for the Cure tournament. Good morning, Joe, and welcome to the Fishing in Florida Show.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, Joe. Thanks for calling in.
So tell us a little bit about is it the Fish for the Cure tournament? Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Fish for the Cure will take place Saturday, November 7th at the Sands Harbor Resort and Marina in Pompano Beach. And then the Thursday prior, Thursday, November 5th, we'll have the silent auction and, of course, the captain's registration party and meeting.
What kind of turnout do you expect on this one?
Well, as many as possible. The premise behind it, I was approached last year during Making Strides event here in Fort Lauderdale, and it's the first year, so we're looking to obviously bring the community together, the fishing community, and it looks like it's going to be a very exciting event.
What kind of a tournament are we talking about here? For specific fish? Is it by the weight? Give a little bit more about the tournament itself.
Certainly. It is by the weight, and there are categories. There'll be a SailFish division as well as what we refer to as a meat division, and that is comprised of dolphin, kingfish, wahoo, tuna, and, of course, cobia. And
what does it cost to get involved?
Well, it's $500 anytime after the 23rd of October, and we have a early entry registration, which if you and your team elect to register prior to that, it's a $100 discount, so it'd be $400.
And the proceeds are, correct me if I'm wrong, and the proceeds are something to do with helping people with cancer?
Well, the American Cancer Society, as I said, the proceeds will be 100% donated to them, and of course the families and of course the people that are afflicted with this disease.
Can't say enough about that. I tell you, our fishing community here in South Florida, I'm sure it's the same in other places, but I am so impressed with the fishing community here in South Florida. They are constantly finding ways to help other people. This is awesome. I know for Carolyn has personally experienced it. I have personally experienced that it can be a devastating disease, not only deadly but devastating if you survive it and get through it. It can be devastating in many different ways, and there are so many different people out there that are reaching out and helping, whether that's physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. It's truly a heartwarming feeling when I hear about stuff like this. I appreciate that, Joe. That's good stuff, man.
Well, very good. We appreciate your support and look forward, as I said, to our fishing community here in South Florida coming together and helping the great cause.
And now, if people want to get more information, how do they find out about this?
Well, of course, just like anything these days, you can find it on social media. Again, we're kind of doing some blasts here, and thankfully, Carolyn has joined us recently, and she's doing a a heck of a job to, help bring, as I said, the awareness to the community. Through social media, we'll be on 105.9. And then, of course, you can go to, unfortunately, the website's a little bit long, but as I said, if you go to the Facebook, my personal page, and I hate to use my platform, but that's the only way right now that, most people can get to it. And it's, you can find that under Joe Hatfield Farinelli on Facebook.
Okay, and Farinelli is Farin, like Nancy, Elli, Farinelli. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, and Joe is also associated down in Pompano with a lot of the names and guests that have been on our show. So we got Sean Miller, Offshore Angle, Pompano Beach, Trey West,
Awesome.
a lot of those guys. So that's pretty amazing.
Awesome. That is awesome stuff.
Yes. Yes, and again, we'll be kind of launching, the marketing information this week, and as Carolyn indicated, you'll be able to go into big dog tackle, real deal tackle, and you'll see it around town. The poster that Dennis Friel had designed, and we're really pleased to have him behind it as well. As
Dennis,
he's a
top-notch man. We've had Dennis on a couple of times.
Yep, Connected by Water is behind this, as well as
Excellent.
Many of our supporters, and we're very pleased and honored to have his support in the community as well.
Joe, just to be clear, though, is it called Fish for the Cure Tournament? Is that what it's called?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so Fish for the Cure Tournament, and you're expected we're going to have a Captain's Day on the 5th, and then the tournament on the 7th?
That's correct. Thursday the 5th at 6 to 9 at the Sands Harbor. And then, of course, tournament day. We'll be going out of Hillsborough Inlet, one inlet. And, the fishing time is lines in at 7 a.m. and then 3:30, and thereafter the weigh-in at the Sands.
Well, I wish you the best, and for many reasons. One of the main reason is when something like this occurs, everybody wins. And it's kind of selfish of me, but I'm part of everybody. when everybody wins, I mean, it's hard not to support something like that. So, for those of you who would like more information, you can find Joe on Facebook, Joe Hatfield Farinelli, Farinelli. Get a hold of him there. Maybe you know somebody who wants to, do their part. This is great. You get to go fishing. Somebody like me, I love fishing, so I get to go fishing. There gives me an opportunity, a chance to win a prize. But the bottom line is, while I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm actually helping somebody else somewhere down the line. It's like paying it forward almost and enjoying it. It's almost like a sin because you're doing what you love, but you're also helping people at the same time. That's perfect. I love it. Go ahead, Carolyn. I think she's trying to say something.
Oh no, I faded out for a second.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, she's a little faded there.
I get a little faded, but certainly I want to help Joe with anything we can. We got some great sponsors that came on. Now I'm going to try and round up some teams. We want to make sure this is a great turnout.
Well,
we appreciate you, Carolyn, and I do want to extend my thanks and appreciation to the fishing community. We have a few sponsors that Taha Marine here in Pompano, Papa Pilar Rum, Front Runner Boats, which is a new company on the circuit, so to speak. We have CV Boats as well. Our friends at Big Dog Tackle, as I meant, the OAPB, and then Connected by Water, Dennis Friel, and many others. But again, we're very appreciative and grateful for the community to come out during these tough times. I never realized how intricate and detailed and time-consuming it is. But as you said, and we all know, it's for a great cause, and we hope that you come out and at least visit the site and take a look and help do what we're doing and bringing the community together to help fight this disease. And just if I may, essentially what the American Cancer Society does, and a lot of people don't know this, what they do, they have a program helps the afflicted members and their families. What happens is when they go for treatments, and a lot of times they, for instance, will go to hospitals, Cleveland clinics. They have a huge clinic in Georgia as well, and they put their families up in hotels. And as we know, that can be quite expensive, and that's one of the ways that the money that we raise for this great charity go to use. So we appreciate your time today, both Carolyn and the show itself, and we look forward to seeing the community come together and fish for the cure.
It's an honor, my friend. Go ahead, Carolyn.
We tried to get Joe on last week, and now it's even closer to the tournament. So look forward to finally meeting you in person as well.
Yeah, so if you know of anybody or if you want to get involved, look him up on Facebook, Joe Hatfield Farinelli. And the tournament is called Fish for the Cure Tournament. Everybody wins, you guys. Fish for the Cure Tournament. How can you not support that in some way, shape, or form? When I say support, it's not necessarily, okay, you may not be in a financial position to shell out $500, but you may know 4 or 5 friends. Shell out each $100 a piece. Go out there, enjoy yourself, and while you're enjoying yourself, you're paying it forward. It really can't, you can't come up with a much better overall scheme of things than that. To me, that's perfect, where everybody wins, because I'm part of everybody. Joe, thank you. Greatly appreciate it, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, and it was an honor to be with you folks this morning. And as I said, and as you said, that's the name of the game in today's society. Do unto others, and obviously continue to pay it forward. We appreciate you and your time this morning.
All right, God bless you. Carolyn, go ahead, and we'll go to a break.
Joe, I'll see you down in the neighborhood, and we'll talk, I'm sure, this week.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun. Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, good morning, good morning. If you're just joining us, again, we will have archives set up. Go to our Facebook page and you can find it there. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. Marina Rock Radio is a tune-in station, so if you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on the TuneIn app. Go to Marina Rock Radio. Otherwise, a couple of different ways you can listen to us. The easiest of all is to download our app. And now, one of the things I will promise you, when you download our app, there is no adware, there's no spyware, there are no push notifications. Just an easy way to listen to the network. You can find it on the Google Store, I believe it's in the Apple Store as well, and search for WCET FM, and you'll find it there. And if you're on the web, you can go to www.wcetfm.com, and you'll find a player there as well. Now, this morning I have Carolyn. Carolyn is with, oh, excuse me, that coffee went down wrong. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to talk to? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back. You fading out again, girl? I lost you all together, Carolyn.
Sorry about that. I muted myself so I didn't create any background noise during the break. But now I'm back. I'm looking out the window. It's blue skies and pretty as can be.
Oh, my goodness. So let's talk a minute about Atlas Trax, because we didn't do that earlier. One of the many different items that you have, of all of them, I should say, of all the different items that you have, my favorite is the little one, the little guy, the mini Trax, I think is what you call, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's our most popular tracker. It fits on any kind of asset. It's only about 2 inches by 3 inches, fully runs on batteries. Waterproof, can go in any water environment, hunting, ATV. So, yeah, that's absolutely our most popular.
And the thing that I like about it is that it's totally 100% portable. You can go literally from your back pocket into a vessel, onto a boat, take it out of the boat, put it in your car if you're in an area where you're worried about your car. To anything, even as far as an aircraft, right? It's a small aircraft. You could put it in a Cessna if you're flying around in a Cessna.
Absolutely. People throw it on the dashboard of their aircraft. And why is that important? Normal air traffic controllers can't see you below 1,000 feet. Well, a lot of folks fly below that. And if something happens, you can find them a lot more easier. But even just to let your family know that you get over to the islands, it's your own personal flight controller, really. You can log on and see. And I've got one client that has about 9 trackers. They have 3 on their planes, a couple in their homes, believe it or not, for power interruption, and then the rest are on vessels and cars and things like that.
Now, that's an interesting application. A couple in their home for if the power goes off, they get a notification or something?
Yeah, so they actually came up with this idea. So we actually made it so you can plug it into a 110 outlet. And normally when the trackers move, they send notices every 10 minutes to the customer that the vessel's moving. Mm-hmm. What they've done is if they plug it in and they lose power, it'll start sending emails or texts every 10 minutes when the power's out. And why is that important? Well, that means they have no security surveillance video cams. Mm-hmm. They have bait that's probably going bad in the coolers.
Yeah.
And freezers, and it lets them know that the security system's down. And they happen to be a security company, so we made 2 of those for them. And actually, we should be making a whole bunch more, because think about it: you can put them up in cabins in the winter.
Yeah.
You can even put a door sensor on there if somebody breaks into the house. So, it's a good way to make a battery operated or a 110 operated mini security system.
It's awesome that you come up with it. I would never have ever. I was still trying to get over the iceberg thing. This is really cool. I never thought of something like that. So you can program them so that they're plugged into an AC adapter, and so if the AC goes out, then they kick into the batteries, and the unit recognizes as the electricity's out, and it sends out signals.
Yeah. There's 2 inputs that we could program in that little tracker. So in theory, someone could put attach a float switch to it and put it in the boat, maybe a small little rib or a dinghy.
Wow.
People could put a door sensor on there. And those are things that we can do. And I probably should be pushing that a little bit more, because it's a great way to make a remote, movable, portable alarm system.
How awesome. That makes it even more versatile by being able to do something like that. See, that's cool. I didn't know that there's so many different things that you have, but that little one really kind of tickles me because it's so small. I finally got to see one of them, and they are pretty small. Again, they're generally about the size of a credit card. They're thicker than that because we got batteries in them, but general size overall is about the size of a credit card. Absolutely 100%. Totally portable anywhere. And Carolyn, am I right? They're waterproof, not water resistant. They're waterproof.
Yes, they are waterproof, and they are for high and low temperatures. So we have people that'll put them actually in a cab of a construction equipment piece that will be sitting on a job site. We had here's an interesting story. I have a customer in the Bahamas that bought 10 last week, and they have if you can imagine, a lobster tail processing vessel. What they have then is about 16 guys that run around in 16-foot boats and actually dive for the lobster, come back to the mothership. This is in the Bahamas, and then bring them the lobster for processing. Well, a lot of times these guys sleep out on anchor. And what happens is the anchor breaks free in the middle of the night, and they're drifting and sleeping, and wake up, and then they're separated from the mothership. Well, then they have to send the Coast Guard for them, looking for them. So this is a really good case where they bought trackers. They're going to put them on very inexpensive little skiffs. That way they can have a better idea when the guys are coming back to the mothership for processing, and also if they do disappear in the middle of the night or engines break down, they can go get them.
I am really impressed at all the different applications that you continue to come up with. And you're working on livestock, right? That hasn't happened yet, but you're working something to do with livestock, with either cows or horses or something?
Yeah, so here's what's really exciting. We are actually, a lot of these products we buy and resell and private label, but we have just 3D printed, but with a plastic printer, a housing in a case for our own pet tracker. And it's going to be, I say pet, but I mean more livestock, like horses in transit, cows. This can be on a collar on a prize bull that's out maybe in a field. And it can go on and on and on to wildlife. So that actually was just really cool, just 3D printed. No one's seen it but me. It'll be probably an inch wide, 2 inches long, and half-inch tall to fit on a collar or a halter or a harness of some type. But we actually were proposed to put trackers on camels also, because they let them free run, and at some point they have to go collect them and use them for transport. So we decided to make our own, and that's pretty exciting. We'll be premiering it soon.
Wait a minute. Did you say camels?
Yes. Yeah. Do you know in other countries they let the camels run free just like they do our wild Mustangs? And at a certain point they have to either go round them up, find the herd, or someone steals one. So yeah, they free range a lot.
Wow. Okay, well that's another camels. Well, she tracks everything from icebergs to camels. What can I do?
My love, obviously, is the boating and the hunting and
my
things
goodness.
Out this way. But I'd love to get our small mini tracks used more on some of the home invasion. For $1 a day for tracking, it just makes so much sense. And I make it a point that if someone needs me in the middle of the night, they call me. So I do answer my phone. It's not like, even some of my vendors, I call them on the weekend to help me, and they're, all closed till Monday. So, even the product I buy and resell, I have some difficulty sometimes.
Well, now you mentioned something that is prevalent in small businesses, and you are a small business, and I'm a small business, And when we're dealing with customers, it's kind of almost in a way like an extended family, because these people are helping you provide for your family. And when we're talking about something like that, we treat them as though they were family, as though they were important family. And that's the advantage. And now more than ever, small businesses are in desperate need of whatever help that you can give them. If you are somebody who's thinking about a tracker for any reason, by all means, you're going to get, and not just because she's my co-host, but because I know her on a personal level, and I've witnessed what she does. You're going to get a much better customer relationship between you and her versus you and one of these big companies. I know that the pricing is competitive, so pricing shouldn't be part of the equation. What should be part of the equation is, are you going to get a quality product, something that you can rely on, and the person that's going to sell you that product, can you rely on them? And that's what you're going to get with somebody like Carolyn. And I wholeheartedly support Carolyn. I'm just amazed at all the different things that you find to do with those things. That's crazy.
Usually customers come up with it, so that's kind of cool. I think that's really to let our customers kind of choose the way we're going, I think is an awesome thing.
And it's not, just so that you understand, it's not just trackers. She's got something else that I think is pretty cool. She's got a whole bunch of other things, but another thing that she has is, what do you call it, the hotspot? The thing that turns your phone into a satellite phone?
Brands of hotspots. They've got different uses. They're both able to allow up to 5 or 6 phones connect to your little hotspot and use that as your main phone. So it creates your own satellite network. Some folks are using it for texting back and forth. You can do some good browsing. Not watch a movie, but if you need to quick check airline reservations or things like that, check emails. That's a good safety feature. I've also added 3 different brands of satellite phones depending on what customers need. Some is basic and free from a Global Star program to some that are a little more costly that actually act as trackers as well. So we have those options, and I'm trying to get into life rafts and EPIRBs and other safety equipment, so I can be a one-stop shop for folks. The
hotspot thing, the thing that I like about that is anybody who's ever done any degree of traveling, that Carolyn's idea is to have one on a boat, because you get far enough offshore, it just takes a couple of miles now. And you're not, your cell reception isn't going to be very good. So to use one offshore. But my idea is, you ever traveled, you know that there are dead spots wherever you're going. Particularly, the one that sticks out the most for me is when we went to visit some family up in Virginia, and you're up and down between the hills and the mountains. It's almost impossible to have any degree of communication while you're in and out of this place. You have something like this. Am I right, Carolyn? If you have something like this, it doesn't matter, right? Because since it's satellite, it doesn't rely on terrestrial. It's coming from outer space, more or less. So it doesn't really have an effect on it. Am I correct? When you're in a mountainous area, it's not like when you're on a cell phone?
Yep, you're absolutely correct. So the only thing you need to do is get it in clear view of the sky. Typically a field or out of a tree brush area, or if you're offshore in your boat, just stick it on the front of your boat. As far as you can't operate it in your vehicle because of the roof and the deflection,
yeah.
But it's easy enough just to put it right on the side of the road and let it power up in about 50 seconds, and now you're good to go.
And you can handle, what's it, five phones?
Folks put the app in their phone before wanting to use the device, then sure, it's up to 5 phones. But typically, it's the captain or the main person that owns the device can hand off their phone and, make some emergency phone calls if necessary, or just to check in, hey, we're going to be a couple hours late. So that works really well. And, that's about $50 a month as far as the service, and the devices are about $500. So a lot of times it's cheaper than buying one satellite phone.
You aren't kidding. Here's an idea for the charter captains out there. Have one of these on your vessel, not only for yourself, but for those who come on. They don't have to utilize any of your equipment per se physically. They just use the existing hotspot that you have, and allows them to communicate with their family or their friends while they're on the boat. Just an idea. I mean, there's so many applications that you can do with these things. I like the hot spot again because there's so many dead spots. And Carolyn, you had an experience right here in Palm Beach County where you and I were trying to communicate one day, and you happened to hit a spot right here in Palm Beach County where it just happened to be where you were. There wasn't any cell service.
What did I do? I panicked. I couldn't get cell service. I couldn't track
Figure out
to
where
where
she's
you
going.
told me I was supposed to meet you. I did everything but pull over and cry. And luckily, you were able to, give me some points because I'm not familiar with that area. And you actually had to go stand out in the middle of the road and flag me into the restaurant. Yeah.
It
And
happens.
I almost jumped out of a moving car. So yeah, I mean, it would have been, I could have pulled over, put that thing on, and logged right in and found you better.
So the reason I bring it up is people think, well, I'm out in a vessel, and of course you're out in a vessel, you're way offshore, it's going to be next to impossible. But there's even places here on land that in a populated area, we're in a pretty populated area what we're talking about, and it's not like we're out in the boonies, and there are areas where, believe it or not, your cell phone just won't work all that good, depending upon who the carrier is. So it's something to think about, and the tracker can literally put anywhere. You can put it anywhere. You can put it on a human being. You can put it in the back pocket. You can put it on a jet ski. You can put it in your boat. You can put it in your car. You put it in your aircraft. Anything that you want to protect. That's why I like to say, if you want to protect what you love to the max, it's nice to have an alarm system. And she has alarm systems, by the way. It's nice to have an alarm system. But the alarm system, what happens if the alarm system goes off and makes a bunch of noise, and these people are hell-bent, whoever they are, and taking whatever it is that you have? The noise would scare the majority of them away, but there are some who are so bent, they're going to do what they're going to do. So if you have some kind of a tracker that allows you to track that piece of equipment, whatever that might be, a boat, a car, whatever that might be, the odds of you getting it back are so much greater. And the faster you get it back, the odds are that you're going to get it back undamaged. The longer that it takes for you to get it back, the higher the odds are that you're going to incur some kind of damage on whatever that might be, whether it's a boat, a car, a motorcycle, a jet ski, whatever that might be. The faster you can get it back, the less chance that there is severe damage that is done to whatever that might be. And the fastest way to get it back is to have a tracker on there that can track it with what, Carolyn, 10 feet? Anywhere on the planet, 10 feet?
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, some people can tell exactly what dock piling they're at a marina in the Bahamas, and circle back to the alarm. I mean, we've got even alarm systems that can be run on batteries, like train batteries that someone could put on a landscape trailer and just wrap it around a tree in their front yard. So even, something low cost, if someone doesn't want to get into a subscription situation, they buy an alarm, doesn't require a subscription, and now they've got that audible sentry for pretty much to at least scare the bad guys away. But that's better than just someone coming in and taking it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and you waking up. I mean, that's the sickest. I had the opportunity, if you want to call it that. I had the experience of had a car that was stolen 3 times in 1 year, of all things. I didn't realize when I got the car that it was like a pimp-mobile. I didn't think of it that way, but there were people who did because they took it 3 times in 1 year. And it was a sick feeling. It's a pit of my stomach. I come walking out of a shopping center. My wife and I was married at the time. And I know where I parked the car, and it's not there. It's gone. And then the other 2 times, believe it or not, once was out of my driveway and once was out of my parents' driveway. It's not a nice feeling to come out and find something you work hard for gone. Somebody has taken it. And then what makes it even worse in my experience is I had no idea where they took it. Had I had some kind of a tracker, at least I could go try to retrieve my property, but I didn't even have that. So nowadays, with all the technology that we have, these are some of the things you can do to protect yourself. One of the guests that we have on from time to time, Bruce Marks, he had, and I didn't realize this, I was ignorant to this, some of the equipment that's on these vessels runs almost into tens of thousands of dollars. His particular equipment that we're talking about was, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 that this equipment was cost him. And somebody decided they wanted it more than he did. And unfortunately, there was no way for him to track it. And I learned from experience of him giving me information, not only is there a problem with the equipment. There's a problem with people taking the boats, because they'll steal a truck from somebody, a heavy-duty truck, and then they'll go hook up to somebody's big boat. When I heard about the boats being stolen, my first thought, again, my ignorance, these are little boats, Riscala. These are, maybe 16, 18, 20-foot boats. Oh, no. We're talking sometimes 32-foot vessels that are being stolen. And then the longer that they have it, the more that they can retrieve off of it. Either the vessel itself gets torn down, or they take the equipment off of it, take the motors off it, they take the electronics off it, whatever they can get off it. And it's all done pretty quickly. So the faster that you can get it back, the higher the odds are that whatever you have taken from you is not damaged. And the easiest way to do that is the mini tracker, because it's absolutely 100% portable, 100% waterproof. The batteries, I think, go for a year, Carolyn? They go for a year?
The batteries are monitored daily, and they usually go about 1,000 satellite messages. So depending on how often you use it, but they're self-changing batteries. You just go to Target and buy another set of energizers. So you don't really need me for anything.
It's not a special battery either.
It requires nothing from me.
So it's just something to think about. In today's age and all the technology that we have, you have options, and some of those options will literally help protect you and your prized possessions, whatever that might be, and help you get it back. The faster you get it back, the less the odds are something's going to happen to it.
And a lot of people don't know, and I even forget myself, I actually am a licensed yacht broker. So I can, what I find is customers were asking me to find a boat, equip the boat, get safety equipment for the boat. So I can, for any of our listeners anywhere in the country, I can list boats and find boats. So definitely use me for that. I'm a pretty good coupon shopper, so I get some good values. But that way I can now sell the boat, equip the boat, help them with insurance recommendations, and do the whole full gamut. So, that's COVID and maybe add a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's something we didn't even talk about. We're out of time in this section, but having one of these trackers. More coffee's giving me a hard time this morning. I haven't drank coffee in a while, but I decided this morning I'm going to drink coffee. Having one of these trackers, in a lot of cases, will help reduce the cost of your insurance. Am I right? You run into that, right?
Either reduce the cost, or you cannot even get insurance if you have triple engines without a tracker. We have to go to insurance companies every day. So that's a mandatory in South Florida.
Wow. Let's see, I just learned something else. All right, my friends. Well, you're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. This morning is Carolyn and Riscala, and we're going to take a break. And don't go away, because it won't be long. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Club, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Club has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no. Answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions. Don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun. Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. Final segment of the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. If you're just joining us again, we will have archives set up. Go to our Fishing in Florida Facebook page, and you'll find the links located there. Many different ways you can listen to the show. The easiest of all of them, download our app. No adware, no spyware, no push notifications. Just an easy way to listen to us. Now, if you don't want to download our app and you happen to have the TuneIn app, go to Marina Rock Radio. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio because they carry our show every Sunday morning. So if you have the TuneIn app, Marina Rock Radio, and you can find us that way. If you're on the web, WCET FM or WCET Radio will get you to the website, and we have a player there as well. Carolyn had to drop out. She had something come up right away, so she is gone for this morning. Carolyn, thank you for all of the time that you spend with me. She's so gracious with her time, and I hope all is well on your end. In the meantime, Angelia. Angelia's down there in the Keys, somewhere in the Keys, probably one of my favorite places, but we'll find out in a moment here. Good morning, Miss Angelia.
I am definitely in your favorite place.
Oh, you lucky girl.
Yep. I was gone all week, and I couldn't wait to get back. It's just crazy how that happens. I don't like to leave the Keys anymore.
So where'd you go?
Yes. Actually, I went to St. Petersburg to sea school where I upped my captain's license yet again.
Oh, congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, just keep going up in tonnage and up in tonnage. So kind of interesting. Just opens more doors for you as a captain.
So now you have, what, 3 or 4 different certifications now? Or 2 or 3?
100-ton captain, and I was working on my 200-ton mate this week.
Holy smokes. Wow.
Yeah, kind of mind-boggling.
Well, you are.
But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
You're truly an inspiration. You really are.
Well, thank you.
So how's life going down in the Keys?
Life in the Keys is fantastic. It's that time of year that it's my favorite fishing ever. Out on the reef, I was out there at your favorite spot yesterday. I was out at Alligator.
Yeah.
I probably traveled about 50 miles of the Keys yesterday via water, which is just so much fun.
Oh, my goodness.
But the great thing is fall fishing is always my favorite because of wahoo and sailfish and still picking up some mahi. And it's just a really neat time to fish. And you can already see the kite fishers sail fishing all lined up along the reef like soldiers. And
oh, my goodness.
Just so beautiful. Oh, yeah. Just gorgeous. And then on top of that, it's grouper season, and they're plucking 27-inch black grouper down here off the reef.
Wow.
And that's kind of unheard of. We catch a lot of red grouper down here. On the Gulf of Mexico, like central west coast of Florida, that's sort of your black grouper and your gag grouper area as far as I'm concerned. But down here to catch a nice big black is kind of uncommon. And to hear a 27-inch black coming in yesterday, that made me really happy. So the grouper's coming in nice, and haven't heard any reports on the SailFish yet. But man, the kite fishers lined up, like I said, they line up on the reef like soldiers. It's just beautiful. All these gorgeous kites in the air. And it was perfect weather yesterday for it too. So I'm going to have to touch base with you guys and find out what happened. The SailFish never like calm seas. They like a little bit of overcast. They like a little bit of bumpy seas. They like it a little sporty. Yeah, I think they like to play in the waves, honestly. If it's flat, never going to catch the SailFish. And don't ask me why, but they like it a little overcast and a little bumpy. But the bait is insane right now. We've got to have the big fish in because bait is just popping everywhere.
Wow.
And had a really cool thing happen yesterday. Had an eagle ray, which are my absolute favorite, do about a 30-foot jump right in front of the boat. And tourists always want to know why you can't just, like, on command, make them do it again and have them video it, It's like,
okay, I'm not familiar with, would you say an eagle ray?
The eagle rays are the beautiful black ones with the white spots.
Oh, I thought those were, oh my gosh, what are they called? Oh, my mind just went blank. I thought they were called something else. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
No, those are the eagle rays, and they're just so beautiful and so majestic. But to have one just do a spontaneous 30-foot jump right in front of your boat when you're underway is just magnificent. I mean, magnificent. You couldn't ask for anything better. No. That's Mother Nature at her finest right there.
There's an area down there about where you're talking about where it's almost like almost like underwater beach. It's that kind of sand. It's really white, and it's only maybe 10 feet deep. So you can really see the bottom very well. It's not really a fisherman's kind of area, but you can, when you go snorkeling, this is a real nice place to go. And I remember being back in that area. This is around where the Holiday Inn used to be. I think it's converted now into condos or something, but that's the area that I was at. And it's all this white sand underwater. And so it's easy to see what's going on down there. And we saw a group of these things. I don't know what you call them, a school. There's probably 7 or 8 of them together. It was like majestic as they came through. It's almost like watching something in slow motion. They're so, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes. It's almost like I equate it to like when you see birds flying across the sky in like a perfect formation, and it's just beautiful and it looks like it's coordinated. That's how the eagle rays look when they travel.
Wow.
They're just absolutely majestic. They look so effortless, and they look like ballerinas. It's just amazing. And they swim in these beautiful formations. I've never seen one alone, except for the one that jumped 30 foot out of the water. But they just swim in these beautiful formations, and it's so they just look effortless, and they're magnificent. And some of them are quite large. I mean, 2-3 foot wingspans. They're really, really neat. I even traveled up into the Islamorada sandbar, and a nice big ray, not an eagle ray, but one of our normal gray rays, just cruising through like 1.5 feet of water at the sandbar, which is just magnificent to see as well. But those sandy areas, we get quite a lot of them down here. I always tell people when the water looks like emerald blue and just electric,
oh my gosh,
it's sandy bottom.
Yeah.
And when you get a darker color to the water, it's because you've got either grass on the bottom or you've got coral heads on the bottom. But those sandy spots just make everything worth it. That's where the really water just glows emerald green.
Now you mentioned that the kites. It's kind of ironic in a way because we had Mike Simko on earlier, and Mike is our kite specialist, and he was talking about kites. So how I find that ironic. Here, I know you didn't hear that part of the show because it was earlier on.
No.
and here you are talking about the kites. They're all out there with the kites. So yeah, that's you see how things tied together. You had no idea, and he had no idea that you would be coming on talking about it. So there it is.
Hey, it's that time of year, and they're really fun to watch. And that's one of my favorite times to troll. If you have an outgoing tide and you've got all these beautiful big sport fishers up on the reef, and they've got kites out. They're anchored with their kites out. And what they do is they keep their paying passengers busy by yellowtailing off the stern of the boat while they've got the kites out. Because if people had to wait for a sailfish to hit the kite, they might go to sleep, you know. So you've got to keep these people fishing and keep them busy. And so they're chumming up the water really, really hard. Everybody knows how to yellowtail. You use a lot of chum and a lot of oats. And if you have an outgoing tide, they're anchored up just inside the edge of the reef. And I like to troll just on the outside of the edge of the reef. So those seem to be my luckiest days, capitalizing on that outgoing tide and all their chum running off the reef. And that's usually my best wahoo days or my best kingfish days. So I'm really hoping that we have a great fall fishing season, because it's just typically it's my favorite time of year to fish. And to hear that the grouper are coming in nicely too. Woo! Yeah, I got to put a line in the water this week.
And if I'm not mistaken, everything's open back up down there, correct?
Everything's open back up. Yep. We do still have some mask ordinances down here, and I had heard that the governor has lifted most of them, but it's very, very normal down here.
Good.
And the other surprising thing, usually after Labor Day, the tourism down here sort of just drops right off. And October, November, December are notoriously our slowest months of the year. We are still jammed down here. I mean, there is no lack of tourism. There's no lack of people wanting to go out on boats, whether it be snorkeling or diving or fishing or simple eco tours. We are busy still down here. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that. And anybody who wants to come down to the Keys, it's very normal. It's very nice, and you'll never know any of that craziness is happening in the world when you get down here. It's really amazing.
That's a nice break.
Yes. Having to go into the big city, I call it, with little quotations in the air, and drive in traffic and be subjected to all the real world stuff was not fun for the week. I ran back down to the Keys as quickly as possible. So, yeah, it's really nice down here. It's just you would never know anything's happening. It's a beautiful break from everything that's going on in the world right now.
And so
I highly recommend it.
It looks like, according to the radar, it looks like when I first started this morning, there was some activity happening in various areas of the Keys, but now it looks like it's nice and clear.
It's going to be a beautiful day. I woke up to everything being rained on and a little bit of overcast skies, and it went away real quickly. The water on Bayside is glassy right now.
Wow.
And the water on Oceanside is not supposed to be bad at all today. We're supposed to have about a foot little chalk, which is no big deal. And, the weather's just been wonderful. Weather's been great. No complaints there at all. So, and it's actually cooling off just a bit.
Oh, finally. Gosh, I was saying this morning was a little different. The last couple of days, it was a little cooler in the morning. I was hoping, oh, my gosh, all right, we're starting in that direction. But this morning, we were right back to the old summer day with the humidity and all. So it's good to hear that if it's coming from down there, eventually it's going to work its way up here. Because according to the radar, everything's moving out of the southwest to the southeast. And that means that if it's cool down there, it's kind of our way. I appreciate it, my dear. Before we go, give you an opportunity. If people, by the way, she is a certified, what am I trying to say, captain, and knows her stuff when it comes to fishing. So if you want to visit the Keys and you want somebody to take you fishing and go do some serious stuff, this is the lady that you want to talk to. She's also known as the Florida Salty Cowgirl. How do people reach you?
You can always find me on social media, Florida Salty Cowgirl on Instagram, on Facebook, and I always welcome anybody to give me a call right on my cell phone. Actually, the best way to get me on my cell phone is to text me, and it is 813-610-0078.
All right, my dear. An honor and a privilege to have you on. Thank you for taking time to share with us today. Greatly appreciate it. Wish you an awesome day. God bless.
Thank you so much, Rosella. Have a great day, everybody.
So long. All right, my friends. Boy, it goes quick, doesn't it? The fastest 2 hours, I'll tell you. Thanks for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. It has been an honor and a privilege. We'll be back in a week.